Morrison, and my life was impacted by restraint because my learning disabled son Callum was restrained prone by staff in his special school 8 years ago, and I've become very passionate about making sure that what happened to Callum doesn't happen to other children like Callum.
My name is James Dickinson. I'm currently a support worker in the Forensic Health Service. I've seen restraint being used. I've used restraint myself, and I've seen it done both good and bad, unfortunately. And I've also had a family member who died in restraint.
My name's Iris, and hugely impacted by being restrained. I can't really put it into large enough words of what that re-traumatisation has done to me.
We know that restraints like physical restraint, seclusion and chemical restraint are sometimes used to prevent people from hurting themselves or others, but we do have a bit of concern that sometimes they might be used unnecessarily. And I know all of you here are really interested in working much more preventatively and encouraging people to work in that way.
Callum was restrained twice in 3 days in the prone position by 4 members of staff. He passed out and urinated, passed out because he couldn't breathe during the restraint. He was very badly injured. He had injuries consistent with positional asphyxia. The bruises healed, the trauma didn't. I now have 606 families as of today who've contacted me all over the UK to say what's happened to their child. And we campaign for change. We've been campaigning in the Scottish Government for change, and now my campaign's going all over the UK. So that's why I'm here, because I want this to stop.
I can fully empathise with Beth and her story because I was that child in the middle 60s who went into a children's home, which was, I think, deemed to be a convalescent home at the time. I can't really remember. And I can remember being restrained in there from that age. So for me, my passion is to think about why that is still happening today, why we're still allowing that to happen to children like Callum. But also, I also work to try and reduce restrictive practices for people like myself who's got severe mental health issues caused by trauma as a child. And I have been restrained, prone, and, well, on face down and on my back. It doesn't really matter which way you put me. I've been raped both ways since I was 4 years old. So when people restrain me, I'm not in their today world anymore. I've gone right back to my childhood. If people don't know me well enough, or they don't know about my history, there's a huge likelihood that I will be restrained. Usually, possibly because when I think of it now, I put staff in a really difficult position because they've got to keep me safe. They'll put me on the floor because I will be fighting them at that stage because I don't know who they are. I won't remember them. At that time, I wouldn't even remember my husband or the fact that I've got children. I'm little in my head. So when I'm on the floor, all I can see is their big hands holding my tiny hands down. I can see their faces, but there's no sound. But I will just be waiting for more abuse to happen. And that's exactly what it feels like.
I've come involved to talk about restraint reduction because I want to try and help everyone involved with care see that there is alternatives to physical intervention before we actually do that, so we don't end up with people getting injured or dying in restraint as a consequence. I think we get lost sometimes, like the care providers, they are the professionals, and service users lose their voice sometimes, but we need to judge things that happen in care the same as what we would do on the outside, you know.
Having lived it, breathed it, and still suffer. I'm 62 this year, and I'm still struggling with the symptoms, and we need that to stop. It's not that we're bad, mad, evil, or any of those horrible words I often hear because of my diagnosis. It's about we're people and we've been through something and there's a reason. If we give the staff the skills and the tools and the understanding of why sometimes someone might behave in that way, but we do it long before it gets to a crisis point where they have to do that, I think we're already thinking about prevention.
I think that when we moved Callum schools, he thrived.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the staff in his new school, I don't know where he would have been today.
Yeah.
They really changed Callum's life, turned it around, and I'm so grateful for that.
We have to enable change, support change, give people a voice, give our staff a voice. You know, thanks for people like James who think differently, and thanks for people that do take the time to make a difference. And if we can only do it together. So thank you to all the staff that have got me where I am, because if someone had told me even 5 years ago I'd be sitting here doing this with passionate people like they're in this room today, I wouldn't have believed them.
I think that we can meet the needs of our loved ones proactively, with love and care and understanding, treating them as human beings. And if we can do that, then we have no need for restraint. That would be my vision.
Without the staff that have cared for me over many years, and there's been a lot of staff, forming a really safe therapeutic relationship with me and seeing me as Iris, I want to say thank you, because without you I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be alive today. And you need to remember that you're doing that every single day, every single time you set foot on your wards. This is the end result if we get it right together.